Hello, trading is closed on April 23rd, 2018. We had some calls. One was that the most likely pattern for today was to gap and promptly move outside the day's range. Next most likely was we close, it'll change, have the big move tomorrow. Well, we closed essentially unchanged, so now we're looking for a big move tomorrow. We also had a MEJT target of 2684.70 and futures are called the high right on the nose. It's relevant, but in order to satisfy the target, it has to print during regular trading hours. That hasn't happened yet, and the time runs out early tomorrow. So if we don't get this early tomorrow, it'll be a failed target, which should print at some time. But remember, the system likes to leave failed targets at major changes in trend, and I think that's what this is. That applies also applies for the target generated from today's pattern. It's only a point higher anyway. It's hard to make a trade based on that. MEJT system really shines during periods of trendlessness. It says all these moves are false and prices will retrace. That rally, that drop, that rally, that rally, that drop. They've all worked except the last one, which is supposed to recover to 2671.58, and close doesn't count. If it doesn't print tomorrow, that will fail to print in this preferred time frame, but should print at some point. Now, this drop here just filled an earlier gap. Here's the gap. All we've done so far is to fill the gap until we take out these highs, and don't forget these lines are resistance lines. Until we take out the gap, this is just nothing. So we've dropped to support, and you're just filling the gap. The main pattern is still a negative pattern for reasons we've discussed earlier. Now it is somewhat impressive if you look at the blue line, which is the close, that after this drop we were able to recover over all these lows. What isn't so impressive is if you take the close 5 minutes before the close, the bar 5 minutes before the close, which is this gray dotted line, we couldn't close over this low or this low. Last 5 minutes doesn't mean too much. It's often just position squaring. It means the rally is running into resistance, and as of now hasn't shown it's able to close above it. There are two big things in trouble with this pattern. We gapped up, hit a new high, and then couldn't hold on to any of these highs. It's a negative pattern, and unless we invalidate it by gapping up, taking out this high early, it usually leads to lower prices. As I've said, what you really want to do to convince me is to gap and take out this high early too. Now we have higher targets, futures are up as I'm recording it. I can't say it's impossible, but I think it's not the most likely scenario. Not impossible, but I think we're in trouble here. As I've said, as long as this high holds, we have much lower targets, and we should be in a third wave down. In addition to all the other resistance we've seen, we have our wave 1, our wave 2, we're in wave 3 down. You have your ABC, set your Fibonacci grid in the middle wave. Here are your lines. And you can see how we run into trouble right at the lines. We tend to consolidate within the lines. So if this holds, we look for a price around 2643.70, kind of loosely. That's if that holds. So we're at resistance. We can't hold on to these highs even after gapping up. The odds favor gapping and promptly moving outside the range. My feeling is I can't say it's impossible. The gap is up, and if we move up tomorrow early on, the odds favor rallying all day. But if things are as negative as I think they are, there's more than a 50-50 chance, but not a lock, that we take out this low. Let's take out this low early even though futures are up as I'm recording this. If we're weak early, the odds favor us being weak all day and having a pretty sizable decline, very likely into the 2640s, maybe 2650 or so. The open's going to tell the story, looking for a gap. This is resistance. We need to gap up smartly to avoid lower prices, and that's today's call.